We need to move on to the expenditures over 1,000. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Jackson?
there's a couple of issues, and had a brief conversation with Chief Vito. This generator at Station 2, I think was worked on a couple of times last year. I guess basically, is it still feasible again to keep repairing, or is this something that we should look at to maybe replace during sometime this year?
At this point, they assured me that with this repair, we should still get some service life out of it in the next 2 or 3 years.
Is there any further discussion? I have a motion to approve the expenditures over 1,000.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Clerk, call the roll.
Jones.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Madden.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Agee.
Yes.
Jeanette.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. We now turn to the mayor's report. Mayor Ned Blackwell.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to start, thank you. I'd like to start this evening saying just thank you for all of the residents that came out. We had over 500 residents come out for the swearing-in ceremony from myself and all of my fellow council persons. So on behalf of all the council sitting here today, we want to thank you for the wonderful support. And it was cold, but we filled a school. We exceeded the capacity. We had news agencies from all over the city. It was an amazing event. It was momentous. I want to thank you again for coming out for our swearing-in ceremony on the 16th. Also, I want to thank all of you that came out on Monday in observance of Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day. I was keynote speaker at Cornerstone Baptist Church, again joined by my fellow council persons. We thank you, all of you that came out to support us and just support that local church is doing great things here in Maple Heights. It was great seeing all of you. I want to bring you up to date on what's been going on. It's been 3 weeks now that I've been in the mayor's office. I want to break it down in a couple of subsets. First, I want to talk about the transition. I want you to know what's going on. And this will kind of be the format in which I report to you. I began work on January 4th. It was my first day in the office, and I'm there every day, pretty much all day, and all night sometimes. I've met all employees in an all-employee meeting, which I had the second day I was there on January 5th. I've established monthly meetings with all directors. I have visited every department and observed processes and met with all support personnel. I work one-on-one almost daily with Finance Director, Ms. Irene Crowell, regarding the financial recovery plan and the 2016 temporary appropriations. I work with Human Resources, Mrs. Lori Waller, who's not here tonight, reviewing our current staffing, performance of those staff persons, and the needs. I mean, a lot of needs of our employees. And I'm listening to everyone and just really trying to assessing what we can, the needs, the requests that we can meet, and those things that I'm going to ask them to continue to be patient and believe in this administration in helping us get it done. So a lot of HR reporting. We have a lot of HR reporting to do to various agencies, and we just want to make sure that we're on time and we meet deadlines. So we're doing a lot of cleaning up and making sure we set some standards for meeting those deadlines. Lastly, I'm reviewing and have reviewed all existing and renewal contracts for engineering, law, building, as well as several bargaining agreements. That's what's been happening with my transition. I've got some more news to report, some good news. New businesses. Boggs Equipment, which will be located at 14901 Broadway Avenue. That deal is scheduled to close tomorrow. This company buys used printing equipment as places go out of business. So as places go out of business, they go in that had a printing function in their previous life. They go in and buy that printing equipment, stock it in their warehouse, and then they look for people that are interested in buying printing equipment. So they look for a new buyer. They ship primarily, however, to India. They have 12 to 14 daytime shift employees with a payroll of $11,000 to $12,000 a week. They have 6 24-foot trucks that they use for their business. They plan improvements, including spending up to $100,000 on a new driveway indoors in the spring. That's a new business that's coming to Maple Heights, and that deal's gonna close tomorrow. Prospective businesses. A building company with a $1 million payroll has plans to move from Cleveland to Maple Heights, and that is contingent upon a property tax abatement agreement that I'm currently working on. Let me tell you about some initiatives that we have going on here in Maple Heights. I'm very excited about all of them. Tomorrow morning, I meet with State Representative John Barnes. We'll discuss at that meeting a grant home restoration program, and this is for homes, and this will actually be for several homes in Maple Heights, because this restoration program is for homes 50 years and older. And so this money will come to you, and you can, for those that have homes that meet the criteria, you can get your homes fixed up. But we have to talk about the grant. There are some funds that we need to put up. I'm going to ask State Rep John Barnes for $16,000 tomorrow over breakfast. I don't know if he'll get through his breakfast, because I'm going to ask for $16,000. Also, a follow-up meeting with State Representative Barnes is the following. So tomorrow I meet with him, and we're going to talk about this grant home restoration program. Then I meet with him next Thursday. And this is very exciting. We'll discuss a potential development site involving several nearby cities. There's a major retailer coming to this area. They're looking for a new store location. It has not been disclosed. But this is a significant investment. It's expected to create about 250 to 300 jobs and 500 construction jobs. So this is such a big development. We're looking for, there's going to be land site analysis. We're going to go on tours to look for the best land. I hope most of it ends up in Maple Heights because of the jobs that will create in construction, specifically, as well as personnel to staff these stores. And as you know, Maple Heights is a bedroom community, so the biggest portion of our property taxes come from retail development. So I'm very excited about that. There's myself and about 5 or 6 other mayors that will meet with State Rep John Barnes next week at this discussion. And I hope at that time he'll reveal the more information that we'll bring here to this council and to the residents here. Also, Cleveland Clinic. I'm currently working with a local church in Cleveland Clinic to address something very, very sad, and that's infant mortality. Maple Heights is number 4. We're number 4 we're the number 4 ranked out of 6 neighborhoods. Warrensville Heights is number 1 in infant deaths. So to bring awareness to this, just the sadness, this tragedy, we're going to kick off an event with Cleveland Clinic. This is my 2nd meeting, and we're hoping to do that in early May. But more long-term, Cleveland Clinic, and again, I'm very new here. This is my 1st meeting. Has been trying to reach out to Maple Heights to develop a partnership. As you know, in Warrensville Heights, our neighbor, I was guest at Brad Sellers, the Man of the Year Award. Ohio University has brought a campus to South Point. And so there are trained primary care physicians, kind of the gatekeepers, to keep us all healthy. So we have preventive care. It's a lot less expensive if we are keeping ourselves healthy when it comes to critical care. It's a huge burden on taxpayers, huge burden on cities like Maple Heights. As you know, we just passed legislation for health care, vision, and dental. So they're not willing to bring a campus here, but they want to expand it since they have this repository and this great institution right down the street on Warrensville Center Road at South Point to help us keep our babies alive. Babies are not living to be 1 year old. So I've met with about 5 or 6 representatives and executives from Cleveland Clinic. I asked them would they be interested in putting a brick and mortar building. They're not so much interested in a brick and mortar building, but as this thing progresses, they may actually take something that's existing and transfer it in a way to lead some healthy initiatives for our young mothers and programs. So as this comes to fruition, and the details are clear, I will bring that information to you as well. Lastly, on initiatives, a credit collection company called me last week. They're currently working with Shaker Heights and had a lot of success in the collection of delinquent income taxes. Our 2 biggest sources of revenue in the city of Maple Heights is income tax and property tax. And we've had some trouble and delinquency in income tax. So I really just, we're getting a lot of calls from people wanting to help. So I want them to bring me some numbers. Tell me what you're doing in Maple Heights to see if it makes sense here. But we definitely could use the revenue. give a report. I think you're just how well given. You've been hearing, prior to me sitting in this seat, that we have some challenges and we need to raise revenue. So I'm going to take a look at the numbers and see what they're doing in Maple Heights and just really determine with the assistance of my council and some other people, some other directors that have been a part of this initiative in past years, if it makes sense for us to bring them on. And it won't cost us $1. The only thing that I will agree to is a contingency fee agreement. Whatever you collect, you get a percentage off. So we're going to talk about that. Collaboration and regionalization, it's here to stay. And it's the way small cities like Maple Heights and those around us will survive. So today, Attorney John Mantello and myself attended Bedford State of the City Address. And we did that. We went today, and it was several hours. It was a great event, would you agree? It was just fantastic. And they extended a personal invitation for us to come to that event today. It was a catered elegance. It was a very nice affair. But John and I went, John went because he also works in Bedford. But I went to make the statement that we are indeed city partners. As you know, we are a partner with Bedford Heights, Garfield Heights in the Southeast Dispatch Center. So I wanted to know that we are indeed city partners, and so that I went to hear. And also, it's a great place. They had a great slideshow, probably not slideshow, but PowerPoint presentation they're going to put on their website that really showed us what their journey was and how they've had some successes and how they're even going to deal with a huge loss that we just heard about, the closing of Walmart. They're going to take over, what is a $500,000 hit in taxes. But so it was a very enlightening presentation. But also, I let them know that I was interested in continuing our collaboration and regionalization efforts to the point our contract for trash collection expires this year, and so we're going to be looking at some ways to save money, to get some better service. Everybody wants recycling. I heard that last year, being a resident myself. I too want recycling. I still feel guilty every time I throw something plastic in the trash. So I did talk to Mayor Kosey and as well as their city manager, Mike Malice today, along with John Mantello, about just joining them in an effort. They have a consortium. Their trash collection, when their contract ends with Waste Management, which I hope will result in two things: better service and more cost savings. Thank you for your attention this evening. I'm so grateful for all of your support the 13 months of that campaign. It means a lot. And all of the people here, I think, will agree. Thank you for your confidence in us, and we're going to do everything we can do to bring the city back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Blackwell. We now begin with the council reports, beginning with Councilwoman Tony Jones at District 2.
Good evening, everybody. And I'll tell you something, if Mayor Blackwell could actually do what you did in 3 weeks, could you imagine what she's going to do in an entire year? How about that, huh? Of course, we're not going to match her report. But the only thing I want to remind people is anybody that actually in the past had a Wednesday pickup for garbage, it has now been moved to Friday. And some people kind of thought that, well, maybe it was just like for this 1 week. So if you could let your neighbors know, a lot of people are paying attention, but there's still a few of them that still have some bags, and especially when the bags are white and they're mixing with the snow, they can't see them. So eventually we'll get it all together, and it has been admittedly too cold for me to do too many door knocks on that, but with the help of neighbors, hopefully they'll work out. I do also have some good news. I was actually invited by the treasurer of Cuyahoga County, who is Chris Murray, to be on a committee to assist in some of these delinquent property taxes that come from the bottom feeder, so to speak, investors. And the other partner that I have is a lady from South Euclid. So they're using Maple Heights as well as the city of South Euclid to really crack down on these investors that are buying multiple properties, that are actually housing people and not paying a property tax. So my first meeting is Monday, and I'm hoping that's going to generate some income for our city, as well as, if nothing else, they're going to put them on the Hall of Shame. And that's where they belong. So that is the end of my report. Let's hope we have a great new year, and we're off to a great start with the new mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Jones. Councilwoman Ebony Miller of District 3.
Good evening, and do again want to thank the residents of District 3 for entrusting me to represent you for the next 2 years. I do want to start off my 2-year run with actually initiating a District 3 block watch meeting. The bi-monthly meetings will actually start on Saturday, February 20th at the library in meeting room 1. If you're interested in being a street leader or captain, please see me to get your information so I can start sending you emails and we can start corresponding and making these more meaningful meetings going forward. End of report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Miller. Councilman Ron Jackson of District 4.
Good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to thank and welcome all the new council people. I look forward to working with you for the next 2 years, and Mayor, look forward to working with you. And as Councilwoman Jones said, you're going to give us a report of new business every council meeting. That's going to be all right. I want to thank the council members for electing me pro tem. I look forward to working with our council president and with the administration. And one of the things I have always wanted to see is more cooperation between the city and the school system. And I think by Dr. Keenan reaching out with the police department and sending out that robocall, I think is a good first step for this year. And I hope those kind of things continue and grow. In the report.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson. Councilwoman Tangela Madden of District 5.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank everyone for in District 5 for voting me in office. I really appreciate it. One thing I want to say is I had a couple of my residents in District 5 had a few issues, and I thank so much to the seasoned council people who have helped me with information. And Ms. Bopat, I appreciate your information that you gave me also. Also, I would like to, everyone, this paper is pretty important. So you will know who the council people are, their numbers and everything. And if you see something that's going on in Maple, if it's not in your district, get with the council people and let them know. That way we can become a community and we can help one another to build our city, to make it strong. In the report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Madden. District 6, Councilwoman Sherry Thomas.
Well, first I'd like to say, once again, I'm looking forward to working with our new mayor and the administration. I think we have a great team with our council. I'm very fortunate to be a part of this team. From what I've learned about this group, I just believe that we're going to get a lot done because everyone's coming here with a fresh outlook, positive outlook on the community. We plan to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. So we're really excited about working for our residents. I also want to thank all of the residents as well for entrusting from District 6 entrusting me with this position. And I'm sure I echo the same sentiment for all of my colleagues here. All of you here. It's really good to see everyone here who's concerned about our community. I would even ask each of you to invite someone out to the next council meeting. Let's pack this room. Let's be a community. And I believe that that way, all the responsibility doesn't fall on one group, but it becomes a community effort for us to turn our community around, because it's going to take a lot of work. And finally, on February 6th at noon, I will be hosting my first community meeting at the East Cleveland, did I say East Cleveland? I'm so sorry. I've been like, my whole life, no one's coming. I'm so sorry. That was a Freudian slip, please forgive me. Maple Heights Public Library, and we'll be meeting at noon in room 4. So please don't hold that against me, guys. In the report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Thomas. Councilwoman Edwina Agee of District 7.
Good evening. On Thursday, February 11th at 6:30 at the Maple Heights Library, I invited District 7 2016 graduates and their parents to attend a roundtable discussion. The topic will be, what are your plans after you graduate? Our guest speaker will be Chief Popularski. He will explain to the graduates how the laws change once he or she become an adult, and he'll answer any questions they might have. Southgate updates. Foreman Mills is scheduled to open up at the end of March and is now accepting applications online. Home Depot is also accepting applications online. I would like to thank our police chief, Chief Popularski, and his men, as well as our fire chief, Chief Vito, and his men, for keeping the city safe while working with limited manpower. Thanks for going above and beyond the call of duty. And I just wanted to let you all know that the residents of District 7 really appreciate you guys. Mr. Hardwick, thank you so much for your suggestion. Michelle Rudolph is one of my block watch captains. And I ride District 7 in the wintertime. And I talk to the business owners. I also walk in the summertime.
Thank you, Councilwoman H.E. Councilman Stafford Chenette of District 1.
Good evening. I have a two-part report here. I have an actual report in my district, and I have my early agenda. First, I'd like to thank Alex Adams and his beautiful wife Patrice for their support. I thank you, Alex, for mentoring me through this process, and I'm proud to serve the city as District 1 councilman. I'd also like to thank the citizens and the Maple Heights citizens for entrusting their trust in me. Secondly, I would like to talk about my agendas for the district. I'm going to be working on the youth initiative, a sports and mentor league, along with my colleagues. I'm also going to be working on the seniors awareness initiative. I'm also going to be putting together what is called a combined block watch meet and greet. Now I'd like to get to my district reports and concerns, along with the resolution to those concerns. On January 6, 2016, at approximately 5:30 p.m., I received a call from Mr. Landusky on Walborough Street regarding some residents putting the garbage out too soon. I noted that because of the change of garbage collection day from Wednesday to Friday, which started January 1st, 2016, and many residents in District 1 still took their garbage out on Tuesday by force of habit. As a courtesy, I knocked on the doors and gave reminders to those who put their garbage out too soon. Every resident that was advised was kind enough to put their garbage back. January 7, 2016, approximately 10:15 p.m., I received a call from District 2 Councilwoman Tony Jones regarding a house fire on Attorney Road. At approximately 10:30 p.m., I arrived at the location to assess the damage and speak with the homeowner. The homeowner, Mr. Daniel Whitmoff, was being interviewed by Red Cross upon my arrival. I spoke with Mr. Whitmoff and his mother and informed them I would give a report to the city officials and follow back up with them. Additionally, I was escorted into the home post-fire by the restoration company, the Farrell Group, and saw that the damage was extensive. I followed up with Mr. Whitmoff, and he indicated that he's still waiting on the insurance company. In addition, he was awaiting a return call from the building department about a requirement list regarding the permits needed before work could be started at his house. He was attempting to be proactive, and I left a message with the building department regarding the same. On January 7, 2016, via phone call and correspondence from the mayor's office, I received a complaint from Ms. Mark about dogs not being taken care of, excess waste in the yard, frozen water dish, constant howling and barking. She wanted this to be addressed. I did have an opportunity to go out and look at the situation. I actually spoke to her father, in which she informed me that there wasn't a big issue here, so we pretty much close that report. I didn't see any harm to the animals, but I did follow up as a courtesy. As mentioned by the police chief, in regard to the 10-year-old girl child who was reported missing, that incident took place in my district. She resided on Summit Avenue. She was last seen on Saturday, January 15th, around 1:30 p.m. on Carroll Avenue. On about the morning of January 16th, around 10:45 a.m., the child reported back home safe and unharmed. We thank God for that. End of my report.
Thank you, Councilman Shaddai. Good evening. It's really great to be in Maple Heights right now. We're opening up a new chapter with a new administration, with a new council. I'm hearing a lot of positive, both in the community as well as outside the community. Just this week, Maple Heights was recognized by CNN Money as the 5th most affordable community in Greater Cleveland in terms of the inner-ring suburbs. That's very positive for this community. It's nice to see that a reputable news source is, on a national scale, is seeing our community as a great opportunity in the Greater Cleveland area, just in terms of housing, services. There's a lot of great things here that this city offers, and it's good to see that Maple Heights is being recognized not only at the local level with all the buzz with the new mayor and the council, but also the amenities and things that we offer as a community in the suburbs. The council has been very busy. Last week they had an orientation. There was a financial seminar. Next week the council will be conducting interviews to fill the vacancy for the Planning and Zoning Commission. So they're very hard at work. They're very enthusiastic about serving the communities in their district. I'm looking forward to working with Mayor Blackwell and with all of the council members. There are a couple quick announcements I just want to make. Tomorrow, the Lions Club of Maple Heights, they are a service club here in the city. They are meeting tomorrow at the Lutheran Church of the Covenant at Libby Road, 19,000 Libby Road at 7:30. And finally, next week, Judge Michael Astrop of the Cuyahoga Common Pleas Court, he's having a community forum at the library at 7 o'clock in the auditorium on the top of heroin in Northeast Ohio. He's been going around Northeast Ohio having these community forums, bringing up the issue of heroin use and so forth. So I encourage you to attend that event next week. And also next Thursday at 3 o'clock in this room upstairs, we will be having our Financial Commission meeting with the State Auditor's Office monitoring the city's finances and our current fiscal emergency status. I'll be working with council next month on working on restoring a newsletter to the city. It's very important that we have some form of communication between the city and the residents. I know the previous administration, it's something that he did away with, and I think it's very important that we as a body work with the residents to inform you of what's happening in your city, what your elected officials are doing, how to contact us, and different projects we're working on in the city. So I'm working with council next month on that project. And with that, I conclude my report. And seeing no business before us, this meeting is concluded at 8:25.